Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about the Walking Dead comic. We got a reveal for cover 167. We got a preview for the new comic that's coming out next week. I believe it's next week already. Yeah, that is 165, and then we got an update for Here's Negan. I'm going to get that out of the way real quick. I did a video on that yesterday, so if you want all the information, check out that video. But the update is basically to say that we had the price wrong. Now, I don't understand the point of the price, but apparently the retailer's price is $125 for a blind box. I know. And for the customer, the price is $250. Now, I'm done. I have no interest whatsoever in this blind box, so much to the point where I find the whole idea insulting to the fan base. So if you guys want to follow the story, if you are a fan of Image Comics, as far as all the titles they got in this blind box, I only wanted The Walking Dead. Maybe Southern Bastards, if they can guarantee. I'm not happy about blind boxes. We all know the gimmick. We're not stupid. Blind boxes are a way to sell things that wouldn't ordinarily sell as fast, as many, or for that high of a price. You know what I mean? Because if you have 10 items, 2 items are the money makers. You can upcharge and you can sell more of the other items that aren't nowhere near as valuable or nowhere near as in demand, and it balances itself out because everyone's hunting for the rare stuff. So I think blind boxes are a trend that need to die, and fast. It's getting worse and worse. Unless they change it, you only have a 25% chance of getting what you want for $250. It's just, I almost feel like, is April close? I almost feel like this is a joke. I think that's it. For Here's Negan, if you want to know anything about that, I'll put the link down below. You check that out. Good luck. Now, to the issue 165 preview, we got this where there's 3 panels. That's the standard preview. Each panel is from a different page. The first one is going to be what looks like horse shadows, the silhouette of horse feet, and then they're looking at a wave of walkers in the Alexandria or near Alexandria, because we don't know if those horse feet is Andrea, Michonne, Maggie, anyone from the Hilltop. It could be anybody at that point. And then the next one down is Andrea and Magna. Now, the top one could be Maggie and Michonne in the Hilltop, and then Andrea, Magna, when they're talking about Eugene, that could be them set up, you know, as opposed to Andrea being on the horse and they getting off. No, she says Eugene's behind her, so yeah, we have no idea who the hell is on the horse, but basically the story's going to spill over into 166 almost definitely, and then the cover of 167 is leading us to believe that this story is going to continue to spill over as far as the herd taking out Alexandria is going to run probably half or the whole length of the Whisperer War, ironically, if you think about it, because technically this is still a offshoot of the Whisperer War. The last panel to preview is Rick looking shocked at Negan. Negan having a lot of fun butchering walkers, and I know a lot of people are like, is he killing Dwight? Is other crazy shit going on? And there's no way Rick would even tolerate Negan looking at Dwight with cross eyes. You know, he wouldn't even let him mean mug him, especially holding a gun. Get the fuck out of here. So Negan is just butchering walkers, in my opinion, having fun. He's been locked up for a couple years now, so he's just venting the one way he can right now. So I think that's it with the preview. The cover to 167, it is gorgeous. You have gorgeous, but it has like that impending doom, so a lot of fans are nervous. It has Andrea kneeling down with Rick here. Now, we have been afraid for Andrea's safety for a while now because they keep building it up like Andrea was going to die because of the way Rick talks about her, because of the story that's unfolding, how they interact with each other. So I think this is setting us up for either a fake out or Andrea's in trouble. I'd be shocked if Rick was in trouble. With the way the direction of the story, it's still in that phase where I think it would hurt the story more to kill Rick Grimes off than it would to actually boost the story up some, you know what I mean? Especially with the state of the fan base right now. 2016, we starting to see it getting a little rocky. There's been some decisions like the Negan, the Here's Negan, the variant cover for 163, the stuff going on with the TV show. Right now, there's this simmering idea in the fan base that The Walking Dead hit that area where it's gotten so big, it's just almost too big for its own good, and it is doing some things it otherwise wouldn't have done. You know, for example, buckling to complaints, which can snowball into a horrible direction. You know, we fell in love with The Walking Dead, both the comic and the show, for specific reasons. If people come and complain and start changing those reasons, we don't know how far that change is going to go before essentially it changes the show slash comic slash the story that we love, you know, the story, the characters. Everything has a snowball effect. That's why I am concrete in my stance of give us the fucking story, don't change shit. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I think killing Rick Grimes off right now would be a horrible idea, and I love Andrea, and I'm hoping she's going to pull through this one. Any of the major characters, Andrea, Michonne, Rick, if the story is right, yeah, they could do it, and I wouldn't say, oh, this is horrible. Like, they could kill Andrea, and I wouldn't say it's horrible. It all depends on how they do it and what direction that pushes the story in, but I would rather they stick around. I think at this point in time, these characters are veterans, you know. To kill them off, it would have to be under realistic circumstances based on those characters, you know what I'm saying? Father Gabriel was a character who was, even though he's been through a lot, he is not a veteran in that way in the comic. So when he died the way he did, even though it did feel like, okay, here's a character where he got some story and then he died, but it is kind of believable if you look at his track record, because he's not a hardened fighter, you know what I'm saying? So seeing as he would get nervous and slip going down a ladder, that is believable. Whether or not his body would actually fall that way, it's a comic book, you know, but it is believable. You do buy it, and not everybody can have that ultimate build up as a like a main character, even though they've been around for a while. Anyway, I'm loving the direction of the story, the whole entire New Beginning. Bits and pieces here and there, I think, like, they kind of maybe dropped the ball, but I see where they're going with it, and I still love the New Beginning probably the most. We are now at a chance, at an opportunity for the story to once again go into that direction, but even better yet, the world is being overtaken. There's overgrowth. There's other communities that are way more established than what Alexandria was, than the prison, you know, than Woodbury. There's other communities that have been operating since the beginning, maybe. So you don't know what that world looks like out there. There could be a whole new ball game, a whole new story that's out there. The horizon is like the clean slate for the world of The Walking Dead. The New Beginning was like a refresher for not just the story, but the franchise as a whole. But what comes after the New Beginning, and we're not talking about a time skip and doing like a new beginning, oh, new world, let's see where our characters are at. We're talking about a seamless refresh, a seamless clean slate at what else is out there. I think creatively, I get really excited about that, because I love seeing what direction you can take as a writer, or just an idea man or a concept guy, and then comparing it to the ideas they come up with, see where it lines up and where they don't. I think for me personally is like a little side thing I think about, like a mental hobby. I don't know. I love the creative aspect. That's why I always talk about the screenwriting and the writing aspect, or the camera angles and how they film it and stuff like that, because that's some of the stuff I find the most interesting with the comic, the show, and all that. Anyway, that is why I find what's happening right now the most interesting, because of the potential and where it could lead. Because we have what's out there, the unknown. Oh, man. I just find that so fucking interesting. You guys let me know what you think about that. What do you find interesting? Like, where is this story going to go in 10 issues? In 15 issues? Where is this story going to go? Because we are constantly making predictions for, yeah, what's Negan going to do? You know, what's this guy? What's the radio group going to do? But let's look at a wider prediction base, just for fun and for those who are interested. What is outside there? What other communities? What other opportunities do you have to even put a video game in the world of The Walking Dead that's not connected to Rick and Group, that's not connected to the outbreak, that could be a different side story that's out 5 years after the apocalypse hit in a whole new area. I don't know. There's so many different possibilities they could do. So many different offshoots too, I think, with video games and comics and movies. And yeah, movies. I feel like you can do a Walking Dead movie that is something no one would even expect. Like, not even the outbreak. Don't start all over again. Do a movie where when it first starts, you would not know it's a Walking Dead movie. It's a post-apocalyptic area. You know, build up this theme and a point for the story. You're gonna have to be a little clever, because that seems like it's been overdone, but just be clever, and then at the very end tie it in with The Walking Dead, and then have a sub-story, and then say you're coming out with like stories in the world of The Walking Dead. I think that would be pretty cool for zombie fans, because zombie fans always want zombie content, and you don't have to force it into what's going on with Rick and gang. You can make something that isn't even and never will connect to these characters or what's going on with them in their past. It could be something totally off to the side that is just a cool story that they want to tell. Anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe, man.